Hi guys, this is Miss Oliver. Today I'm coming with you with our very first video of the school year, and more will be added as we progress along. Today we're going to talk about adding integers with the same sign as well as different signs. But first I'm going to start off with adding integers with the same sign. This is fairly easy. When you're adding integers with the same sign, you must add their absolute value. The sum of your number, the sum, which is your answer, will be positive if both integers are positive and negative if both integers are negative. So I'm only going to find the absolute value of the first one, and then you're going to do the second one on your own using the same steps. So we have the absolute value of 7 is equal to 7, and the absolute value of 4 is equal to 4. So when we add these two together, we're going to get 11. Since both of these signs are the same, positive and a positive, we know that our answer will be positive, which will be a positive 11. In this example also, negative 2 plus negative 1. You can take the absolute value so that you can be able to add the absolute values. However, here I automatically see that both of these signs are the same. You have a negative 2 plus a negative 1. Remember, parentheses are used to separate the operation and the number. In this case, the operation is addition and the number is negative 1. Negative 2 plus negative 1 equals a negative 3. We're adding integers that are the same, that has the same sign, which is negative. So therefore, our sum will be negative. I'm going to give you two examples to work on, and I will give you the answer shortly. So the first one I want you to work on is 3 plus 5, and then negative 5 plus a negative 4. Okay, I hope that for 3 plus 5, you got 8. And for negative 5 plus negative 4, you got negative 9. Good job. So now I'm going to move on, and I'm going to move on to us working on adding integers using different signs. When we're adding integers using different signs, the rules are slightly different, all right? And we're going to talk about it. But in the midst of us talking about it, I also want to remind you about the counters that we used when we started working on integers with different signs. All right, so when we were adding integers using different signs, we used what we call counters, okay? So with the counters, we had a red counter and we also had a yellow counter. All right, so the red counter, that might not quite be red, but the red counter represented negative 1. And then the yellow counter represented a positive 1. Okay, so the first example that I'm going to give you, and we're going to use counters to solve this problem, it's going to be negative 4 plus 2. So here I have a negative 4. All right, so using the negative 4, I need 4 negative counters. So let's go ahead and write 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the next case, I need 2 positive counters. 1, 2. In class, you remember me speaking of a word, one of our vocabulary words called zero pair. When one positive counter is paired with one negative counter, the result is called a zero pair. The value of a zero pair is 0. You can add or remove pairs from your answer or your mat, whatever you're working on, because adding or removing zeros does not change the values of the counters. So let's go ahead and remove our zero pairs. So remember, it's one negative counter paired with a positive counter. So here we go. So I removed my zero pairs. In this case, I had 2 zero pairs, 2 sets of zero pairs. So my final answer is 1, 2, and it's a negative. My final answer is a negative 2. So according to the rules, when you're adding and subtracting integers with different signs, you subtract their absolute values. The sum is positive if the positive integer's absolute value is greater, and the sum is negative if the negative integer's absolute value is greater. So in this case, if I take the absolute value of -4, I'm going to get a +4. The absolute value of 2, I'm going to get a +2. When I subtract those answers, when I subtract those absolute values, I'm going to get 2. So the integers in this case are -4 and 2. The largest or the greatest absolute value is 4, and it's negative. So therefore, my answer will be what? Negative. Good job. Sorry about that. So here's your example to try. -6 plus 5. I want you to try that one on your own, drawing your own counters. And then we're going to compare our answers. All right, so in this case, I need 6 negative counters. And then I need 5 positive. It may seems like a lot drawing, but I promise it will help you understand the rules that we're looking at. So I drew 6 negative counters and 5 positive counters. So what I need to do, good. If you said cross out or remove your 0 pairs, you're correct. So we're gonna X that out. X, 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 X. Guess what I have left? -6 plus 5 equals a -1. Each time you need to find out how to add integers with different signs, or if you get stuck, refer back to drawing a model. As you continue to draw the model, you will continue to understand how to add integers using different signs. So just to go back to do the absolute value so that you can understand the rule as you go back to read your notes, it says to add integers with different signs, subtract their absolute values. So in this case, the absolute value of -6 is going to give me 6. Sorry about that. The absolute value of 5 is going to give me 5. We know that 6 minus 5 is equal to 1. So since 6 minus 5 is equal to 1, and we know that 6 is larger than 5, our answer will become a -1 because it's going to take the sign of the greatest absolute value. So next, I'm going to give you another problem to work on before I end the video. If you still are having trouble, please write down in the comment box your question, or if you're in my class, please feel free to ask the question in class. All right. So, and I'm sorry about this one as well. I'm going to write it correctly so that you can get it.